Okay, so artificial intelligence has some problems economically speaking. It's not really the threat that people think it's going to be. So, stick with me. I'll show you what's going on and I'll show you what you can do about it. Hi, my name is David Alexander. I'm the Reverend of Punk. I'm also the author and artist creator behind the Epic of Morgan and Pop's comic series, hand drawn, handmade. Talk more about that in a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be a little awkward because where I had to put the board, but I made a little board for everyone here. Isn't that nice? I'm going to have to give you a few little business terms, but I'll try to make this as simple and easy to understand as possible. Okay, so everything's going to come down to value creation. That applies to what we call the COGS. We're going to use that acronym a lot. COGS, cost of goods sold. COGS is how much does it take to make the thing or to perform the service. You have to pay people, you have to pay for materials, all kinds of stuff. This can be affected by our materials cost, which of course relates to the complexity of supply chains as well. How much time did it take? How much skill, effort, and uniqueness, or the scarcity of the thing. And that also very much applies to creative projects. We'll talk about that in a second. So, simply put, the more the COGS, typically the more you can charge. There is a limit, though, because of competition. So the competition determines, how much is the maximum price people in the market are willing to pay. But again, it is affected by the COGS. If you put more effort into the thing, I, the customer, am more likely to see higher value. It's not a guarantee, but it's typically how it works. Let's look at a practical example. McDonald's, MC on the left, Ruth Chris Steakhouse on the right. If you have a low COGS, you're paying workers very little, it's very little effort on their part, just stick a few things together, low quality ingredients, well then I, the customer, am not going to pay that much for it. So it's going to have a low MSRP. And don't worry too much about MSRP, you don't have to remember it. It just means manufactured suggested retail price. So in other words, that's how much the customer pays, not necessarily how much the business makes. That's just the price tag you see. Meanwhile, you get the good beef, all natural ingredients, just like God intended. You get an artisan chef, that whole thing. This dude's been a culinary master for 10 years. Well, now you can charge me way more, and I'll pay it. Well, that's some good stuff. And this has always been the case in human history. And since the Industrial Revolution, there has been a very common game of racing to the bottom. How cheap can we go? And this is why wholesale giants like Walmart tend to have only a 2 to 3% margin after COGS. That means Walmart can basically never pay its employees more because there's no money left on the table. They have such little margin. So I don't know how well Walmart's business model is going to work out once people realize that no union and no legislation is ever going to give them more money out of Walmart because there's just not more money to be had. So anyway, all this comes down to is that artificial intelligence attacks the very things that drive up the value creation. So let's look at it here. Materials. Well, digital products and services in general tend to not require as much materials as most other products. So that's already being taken out. And of course, digital stuff doesn't really have much of a supply chain. It's just over the internet. Time. Digital things in general cut down time, but artificial intelligence especially cuts down time. Skill. Well, that pretty much just falls off a cliff with artificial intelligence. There's no human being really other than someone just typing into ChatGPT, make me a screenplay. And, to be fair, with some of the shit Hollywood turns out, you're probably in good company with that. Anyways, effort, same thing. Push button. There we go. There's a prompt. I made a product. I actually had someone tell me when I was making my comic, he's like, why don't you just generate it with AI? It's like, because that's fucking stupid. That's why. And you'll see with the economics, it doesn't even make business sense. All right. Uniqueness or scarcity. Some people might say, well, at least the AI can generate new things. No, the fuck it can't. Here's why. AI is trained on an existing data set. And I've heard it explained like this. A toddler needs 3 examples of a t-shirt to understand what a t-shirt is. AI needs millions. I kid you not, millions. There's actually a whole line of work called data annotation, where people have to check the AI to make sure it's understanding this stuff, because it is not a human being, it's artificial intelligence. I don't believe it's conscious, by the way. I know there's people who've said that it is. I don't think it is, and that's one of the reasons why, is it still takes so much effort to teach it even stupid, simple things. And that, oh, but it's going to get better with time. Yeah, it'll get better with time, but it's also eating itself, because a lot of its data was scraped off the internet, and now so much of the internet's generated by AI. So it's eating itself. It's training itself on its own mistakes. Anyway, so, and let's not even get into all the copyright violations that they've done to get all that training data. Hey, cat, stay off that. There's a cat here. Just ignore that. Okay, so all of these things are being attacked by artificial intelligence, which means the COGS will continuously go down. And that might sound great. Oh, my goodness. We're going to spend so little money, but we can charge so much. The fuck you can't, because that's not how business works. It's not how business has ever worked. If you put in little effort, little money, I, the customer, will not spend that much. It's a race to the bottom. Who can be cheaper and faster? And the only way you can profit on a race to the bottom is the economies of scale. But if millions upon millions of people don't buy in, your 2 to 3% margin ain't worth much. Meanwhile, if you have things with higher margin, say my comics here, I can sell one of these books. I'm profitable pretty quick because I'm creating actual human value. I make every book by hand. I draw every book by hand. I come up with the stories. I edit it. I get feedback from real human beings to refine those stories. It's a lot of time, skill, effort, and scarcity, uniqueness. And of course, the material cost is actually not that much. So most of the value for my comic is not coming from materials. But if you have, say, I like instruments like guitars. If you get a rare wood or something that they use to make a special guitar, then, the material cost alone can drive up the value. Another thing AI doesn't have going for it. So all of this is to say is those business models are built on a very broken idea, because even Walmart, which is still selling real products that were made by real people, Walmart has such low profit margin. It's so fragile. And also, again, once people figure out that, wait a second, not only are their products not that good, but the workers, even if we have unions or we have better legislation, can't get paid a living wage ever, because that's the business model. There's no money left on the table because of such a little margin. Once people realize that, and once they realize, hey, if we just start buying from each other, we can provide each other real value and a living wage. Once they figure that out, I don't know how well Walmart's going to last. Just saying. Don't forget this. Liars, cheaters, thieves, all of these things can succeed for a time, not forever. History has shown us time and time again that fucking people over, lying, deceiving, all of these tactics, cutting corners, not providing real value, always bites you in the ass in the end. So don't make a life off of that. Don't try to play the lottery. Yes, realistically, there is a chance. You could be that 1 in a billion person who becomes a multimillionaire or multi-billionaire after being broke because you got some thing with AI that just magically blew up. But it's not sustainable because the economics say it's not sustainable. You have to have millions of people buying your shit because the margins are going to be so low. You cannot charge me the premium pricing for something that I know took you no effort. Why do you think it is once people find out you used AI, people get mad? They stop seeing value in it, especially for creative projects. I don't want to fucking watch an AI movie. I don't want to listen to AI music. Or if I do, I'm not paying for it. I can get it for free. If you want me to pay for stuff, I buy music. I've bought CDs, I bought cassettes, I bought vinyl, I've seen live music. When I pay for that, I'm paying for real value. Same thing with comics. I've bought other people's indie comics. My comic books have been selling. I've got them in 3 stores right now, by the way. They're in Escape Reality Comics and Soundtrax Records in East Tennessee. That's Morristown, Sevierville. So I'm throwing that out there. But because I'm making these by hand, I draw it by hand, I'm putting in all this work to create real artistic value. That's why I can charge the prices I charge. I charge more. This This goes for $7 in the comic shops. Mass-produced comic, and to be fair, I'm not shitting on these guys. This is Rob Liefeld, Marvel. This is still a mainstream comic that's been very successful, so this is not an attack on them. But the book itself was mass-produced, assembly line style, with all these big machines and, all that. So this, and if this were to come out today, this would be about anywhere from $3 to $5. That's where floppy comics typically sell. There is not as much margin because of all of these other factors. It doesn't take as much time, effort, skill to do the big manufacturing runs on those giant printing press. Meanwhile, to hand make the book, handcraft this, that's taken a lot more time, skill, effort, and also creates more scarcity, so drives up the value. All things that AI ruins. So, in closing, the fundamental economic model and understanding the cost of things and what creates value in the first place, because that's what it's all about, creating value. This is something some people have forgotten, like your little day traders of crypto. You're sorry to burst your bubble. You're not creating fucking value. And by the way, just like I said, liars, thieves, cheaters, you can get away with something for a little while. You won't get away forever. Because the United States dollar, as long as all fiat currency, is doomed to fail. Any currency like that can go under. If you can create real value, though, you can survive. Because humans have survived for thousands of years without these big bureaucratic economic systems. Because of value creation in the community. You can provide value. If you're watching this video, you've got something special. You have something you can do for people. Even if it's just mowing a lawn or just carry someone's groceries. There's something you can do to contribute to other people's lives. I guarantee you, you've got something, even if you don't think you do. For me, that's coming in the form of the comic. For you, I don't know what it's going to look like. If you're into art, don't think AI is going to replace you. It's not. It's going to replace you if you just do your version of insert popular thing here. But what I've noticed is the AI doesn't really create anything interesting. It's actually pretty boring, whether it's song lyrics, whether it's script writing, whether it's even theme park rides. I love theme parks, so I've tried to get it to make theme park rides, and they suck. It just makes its version of insert popular ride here and just reskin it. That's all it does. And then again, it's trained on its own data at this point, so it's just slowly eating itself. So the AI is not the way to go. I've heard so many videos that are like, if you want to be successful, if you want to make it rich, you need to get into artificial intelligence. You need to integrate AI into your business right now. It's like, or you could just create more value by not doing that. Because this still works in a fucking power outage. This still works whether you get your approval for your data center or not. There are so many flaws. I could go on and on for hours, but I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you got value in this. Please stay encouraged. I know shit is rough right now. The economy fucking sucks, but these things are temporary. The things you can create. For me, again, it's comic, whatever you got something special too. And that doesn't have to be art, but it can be all kinds of things. You've got something special you can offer your friends, your family, your community. And maybe if you want, we could talk about getting stuff into retail stores and some other videos. So if you like the format, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like doing this whiteboard stuff. I'm just trying this out to see how this goes. And that's going to about do it for here. Real quick, shameless plug. You can also get my comics on my website, chapters 1 and 2, available right now, shipped directly to you by me. If you buy them, you will get the free bonus scene of Blockbusted's fun little short adventure. And then Chapter 3 is also coming soon, so that'll be the end of the first arc of the comic. And finally, we got one more little thing here. The first volume, Red Dye. I'm working on these as well, so I don't have a release date for those yet. So you'll be able to get them in chapter format right now and volume format eventually. So the links are going to be down below in the description for you, as well as a Discord server if you want to join us, hang out, promote your own stuff as well if you're trying to run a business. So I know it's rough. Hang in there, because we can all create a better tomorrow with each other. Just stop looking to someone else to fix it. We can create the value ourselves. And just like Neo said in The Matrix, this is the thing that they're afraid of, right? I'm going to show you a world without you. So, thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you got something out of this. I've been David Alexander. You've been you. And until next time, Godspeed and rock on.